Okay, let's get started. Okay. Gary, you need this projector? No. Okay. So we're doing a live webcast and video.
Oh,
so if you want to rewatch it, you just go to YouTube to Rocky Mountain Inventors and everything's there.
Okay.
And it's the video is saved instantaneously, so it's a minute after we're done.
It's
available ready, yeah. And so the videos are indexed by date, speaker, and topic. I think we have maybe about 140, 150 now.
Yeah.
We had like 200, but then I weeded out and I transferred the out of date stuff.
Right.
So anyway, welcome to the Rocky Mountain Inventors. We're a 501c3 nonprofit individual, so we're educational only, and we just operate on cost. Your donation goes for food and drink and website email and materials. That's it. We make some money. And we run meetings second and fourth Mondays, same time, same place, different topics. So except in November, December, we don't run a fourth Monday meeting because of Thanksgiving and Christmas. So our next meeting will be second Monday in January, and I think we're going to get the director of the Denver Patent Office. I just need to get that confirmed.
Would be nice.
Yeah, so they can kind of give you the insider on patent copyright. You say to me talking about it. Well, I say strike copyright, just patent. A little bit of trademark copyright from them. The Copyright Office is different. Anyway, so if anyone's, if you've got an idea that's not patent protected, keep it confidential unless you've already disclosed it. The way U.S. law works, if you publicly disclose, you can have it exposed for a year to get a patent filed on that 1 year patent. If you want to preserve foreign filing rights, you don't have the 1 year window. It's usually a good business strategy to keep it secret until you're pending anyway, at least for the provisional. Provisional patent application is a good way to do a lower cost 1 year pendency, so you can go out and freely talk about it. Because we talked about confidentiality agreements, but they're a pain. And a lot of people don't like to sign them and they're a hassle, so you kind of want to avoid them whenever you can, if at all possible. So Gary Neff is our speaker tonight. He's been here a couple times over the years. He covers sales, marketing, distribution, and I guess basically how to sell your product, which is a big deal, getting it right. That's kind of something we're gapped in. We talk about prototyping and protection, but there's the whole thing about packaging and distribution, how to price it, where to sell it. It's very important to your success to get that right, or at least have an idea what to do. So we usually just do a little round robin, and everybody introduces themselves and their name and like what you got going on. I'll start with I name Dana. Dana, yeah. Dana. Yeah. Well.
I'm Dana Gatlin. I was a member, I guess, including all the time, probably at least 10 years. But the kids hit college and we had to go around looking at universities, and so I got busy with that. So I got out of it for a couple of years. And so now my last one hit college, and so really concentrating on getting back into it. So.
Okay, Roberto.
I'm Roberto Susena. I'm a patent agent. I'm an electrical engineer. I've been practicing patent law for about 15 years. And I am the
this
U.S. correspondent of a few Italian law firms do filing a prosecution in the US of patent application that usually have been already filed in Europe.
Okay, Steve?
I've been a member for about 8 or 9 months now, I guess. Something like that. I'm sure I'll be getting a notice in the mail.
Those cost money, you don't do email most.
Yeah, you never know. And, but I'm in the process of developing a device that loads and unloads pallets from vehicles. And does it in 45 seconds or so. And pallets can weigh up to 3,000 pounds. So pretty quick, pretty fast.
And you've got a trademark that's got
Right.
preliminary approval anyway, it's out for publication, it should be in pretty quick.
Yeah, I've always wondered why I haven't heard anything.
Oh, they'll notify me
Yeah,
if there's an objection, but I think we're pretty safe, because I haven't heard one yet.
I haven't heard either one either.
And they only happen maybe 1% of the time, it's pretty rare.
Okay. Anyway, the idea of the, copyright is that I made up a special name for the device, and I'm doing that because I want it to be unique, and I want the device to be, the name of the device to be transparent. That is to say, it has to pretty much describe what it does without giving away how it does it.
And that's tricky.
I think I did it.
Yeah, well, the trademark office didn't say it's descriptive, so we're good.
Right. Okay, I'm in the process of, I'm starting a prototype, as soon as the season is over, holiday season is over, and that means December 26th.
That's when you get back from the North Pole workshop.
That's right.
He does play Santa Claus, so
You do? You, listen, it's the only gig I know where I can have a great time with children and adults too, and make $350 an hour. Now, if you can do that,
Whoa, yeah.
if you can do that, then fine.
350.
Yeah, that's my walk-up rate, $350. If I don't know yet, I'm gonna charge you $350.
where do you usually do it?
Oh, a lot of company, holiday parties. I'd say that's a majority of my business. I do some most residential too, and I don't charge that much. I charge $244 for a residential appearance. Now he asked me, why $244? It's well known that if you mention a lot of fours in the price, it's a lot easier to accept.
Oh,
yes.
That's why it's $244.
Okay. Learn a marketing secret.
I call you.
Yeah, it's psychology, you bet.
Try 444.
Yeah.
If I could get away with that amount for a residential appearance, that's what I'd charge.
Okay.
But a lot of my commercial appearances are 2 and 3 hours. So I do okay.
Yeah, good.
All right.
Okay, Ty?
Yeah, I'm Ty here. It's my first time here. In the last year, I've been really interested in inventing. I got ideas from aerospace to microbiology to consumer electronics to whatever else you can think of. Me and him are growing a list, however long, of ideas, and we're in the process of sorting out as much ideas we think have market value and beginning to think about provisional patents and trademarking and that sort of thing. But,
Yeah, provisional is a good way to test stuff out, although you got a year, but you gotta make that year count. It'll fly by.
right.
And I would say, if you got any pure software stuff, be kind of careful, because
That's
that's
possible.
difficult to patent. Pure software, with no hardware.
And the problem with that too is that if they could come along and say at some future time that software can't be patented. They could pass a law and change the patent law. That could happen.
From other countries.
Yeah, the trouble is software's been in and out of favor several times, so.
Yeah.
And that's kind of bad, because companies want predictability on this stuff.
Right.
That makes sense.
They don't want to put a lot of money into something that can't be protected. And companies have a lot more reasons to run a software patent, I think, than you or me or anybody else that's just an inventor. They have.
Yeah, especially when it's a big market.
Yeah.
The software's so easy to replicate.
Yeah.
Okay, Diamond?
Yeah, my name's Dylan Meredith. I'm Ty's partner in business, and I have a master's in microbiology, so I handle more of the scientific, biological side of things. Really excited to be here. It's my first time. Funny nervous, and with regard to how the heck we're going to manifest an idea into an actionable financial entity, but
Did they have it in school? Did you keep after lab journals?
at my school, yeah, but then they made us turn it over as a result of
Okay.
pretty.
But on your own work, continue to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because it gives you proof of activities in the past, so it could be valuable.
Okay.
And if you should anyway. 'Cause-
And you can recover your
It's good science
journals
to
too.
look at.
And the reason you want to recover the journal is, even if it's just a copy, is to prove that you had an idea way back when, or just simply that you were diligent,
And well, to know where to go, you gotta know where you've been.
That's right.
Gary?
My name is Garry Hollis. I have 2 fitness products, launched my e-commerce website in October. I got my first sale, and I have an order for 4 more, so that's exciting. Second product, we're in the final stages of design for manufacturability. So hope to start some prototypes in January, February with that, and be able to launch that second product next year.
Are you gonna be making and selling it on your own, or trying to license?
The current product, I buy part of it from overseas, and the rest of it I make in my garage.
Okay,
And then once sale, we'll scale that. As,
Alright.
assuming sales go up, there's other things we can do to improve the manufacturability of it and lower the cost, but right now, it's too much to go do that stuff, So I hired some students. I actually used to teach at CU, so I was able to get an ad up there through colleagues, and I got 3 excellent students to come work with me, and I'm gonna hire a business student also to work on social media. So we're gonna go after sales that way. So,
And he's got a pretty neat product too.
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's really reassuring.
Yeah. So,
okay, I'll turn the floor to Gary. As always, ask questions anytime. That's what we usually do.
This probably for you guys can be anything you want it to be. I didn't bring a presentation. I'm probably been with Roger now for 6 years, and he's kind of guided me through the legality and all the stuff I needed to keep my nose clean for selling products. Past that, what we've done is taken an idea that I really had no intentions of developing into a product, and it took off kind of without my desire to be involved. And we're at the stage now where probably still a small entity, but we're growing so rapidly that trying to manage the growth is huge for us. Maybe depending upon your position and your investors and what you have to back up your play, those change for everybody. So for us, where we're at is in the middle of trying to handle our distribution models that are changing on a daily basis, along with Amazon and Jet and many of the other people that are chasing e-commerce down to the ground and trying to determine how to stay profitable. Our company has gone from being primarily a U.S. manufactured product to where now we're outsourcing probably 60% of it. In the coming year, we'll be closer to maybe 80 or 90% of it. We still manufacture some of our stuff here in the United States, but we're definitely following the path of least resistance to sell products on a volume basis, because depending on what you're selling, for us, volume is where profitability is at. So if you have pet rocks, you can dominate and command the market and hold your margins high. That's probably one model, and if you don't, you're competing, then you have to find out how to keep your costs low and keep your sales high. So with the Amazons and all the rest of the e-commerce players that are starting to change our models, we've spent the last 2 years trying to change everything that we have completely 100% into another direction, because it's being forced upon us. We're not alone. So we're working with Amazon right now, probably as a primary distributor. We're working with them in the United States and Canada. And in January, we start selling in Europe. And after Europe, we'll probably try and go after Asia. So they present us with a model where we can create a worldwide company out of a very small environment in the United States. But the challenges are incredible. The learning curve is phenomenal, and if you don't have a big company trying to manage all the different methods of distribution and sales and taxes and systems and structures and imports and duties, and it's a big undertaking. So what I am for you guys is a resource. I mean, I can't offer you anything more than my experience and where I've been and where we're at and where we're going. And if anything that you need fits into questions you can present to me, I'll be happy to try and address them. And that's my opening statement. Go ahead.
In general, how would you describe the markets that you're in now?
Gosh, I'm not certain exactly how to answer your question. When you're looking at a company that grows by volume, and your volumes are going up at a dramatic pace, the markets are great, because you're increasing your sales in many, many different directions. And if your competition is not very steep, then the market's great. But if you're sitting on a very limited exposure, say to just the United States or the southeast section of the country, and you have competition, and you're looking at the economic forces of the United States right now, business may not be so great. Because people are beginning to feel the tugs of a lot of things that are causing, not only with our duties that are going up and things that we're having to deal with in the United States, but if you're trying to grow and grow and grow and you're continuing to grow, then the answer to that question is, I think the markets are good.
Okay. And you have I assume that you're talking about a retail consumer product.
For the most part, we sell at all 3 tiers, which means we sell at wholesale jobs, we sell retail, we sell direct. So the 3 tiers that most of us face in selling products are going to be either a combination, one of, or all 3 of them. We sell all 3 of them. So we have 3 different steps or tiers in our pricing, which if you're developing a product, you have to pay really strong attention to, because distribution models or traditional distribution models, you have to accommodate margin for wholesale, retail, direct. And if you don't have that margin, then you got to take a strong look at your costs and then determine whether or not you can afford to build a product where you're at. You have to outsource and go overseas, or if you want to really give it away to somebody and do a licensed distribution thing where you don't deal with it and somebody else does, you sell it off.
Could you add 10% to your product right now in terms of price and still be successful?
I can do anything I want to, but does it make sense to do it? That's the bigger question. Adding price just for the sake of adding price, you need to figure out why you're doing it. You're trying to maximize your profit margin because you need it to offset something, or are you going to overprice yourself and then invite somebody else to come along and knock you off? So there's a lot of questions to answer when you say, can you just increase your price? Why are you doing it? I mean, that's a bigger question. I mean, it really is. You have to be sensitive to what people want to pay for. people were willing to pay $10 for it, they raised it to 15, some people are gonna pay for it, but then all of a sudden you lost all your sales. So that margin better support your company and lower your expectations of your sales. That's my take on it.
What kind of discounts do you have, like in wholesale and retail?
Usually you look at about a 40-point spread if you want to do 3 steps. Retailers always want to see 40 points margin.
They want to see 40 points.
That's what they want to see. They want to see 40 points. The distributors, you usually can knock it down to 20 or 25, but there's so many things that go into that because your wholesalers want to see you help market, because wholesalers as a rule don't sell, they stock warehouses. So they want you to advertise in their catalogs and help promote your product to your end users through their system. And your offsets are gonna cost you another 10 points. So 30% at your wholesale level, another 40 for your retail is typically what you find. You can do less than that. I mean, 10 points here, 10 points there, depends upon what you're selling. You got competition, how fast you want to launch, do you want to do buybacks? How many things do you want to give away to sell your product into distribution and come with risks that cost you money down the road?
So you're telling us then that the product is, and your profit have to equal 25% of the retail price?
No. If you have a product that you want to, it costs you $13 and you want to make 50 points, you want to double your profit, you have to sell for 26. So you're selling for 26 and you want to go to the market with it at 3 tiers, and you have to add 30 points or 30% for wholesale, another 40% for retail, and then you're going to sell it at that. So you need to be able to say, so 26 plus 30 plus 40. So your product's now going to sell for $45 to $50 on the open market. And you walk that backwards through those tiers, and you spend 26 and it costs you 13 to make it. So you're making $13 and everybody else is making all the rest of it. So that's a distribution model. When I started out, I told you that the industry and the distribution models are changing so rapidly that typical 2 or 3 step distribution models are dying. They're dying so fast that we can't keep up with them. All your old traditional distributors that would sell to a retailer, that would sell to the public, are about to die. They're going away because Amazon introduced direct to public. So no longer do we have the need for a lot of distributors in our models anymore. I mean, they're useless. I mean, they used to take your product, put it on a warehouse, and they'd get it out into the industry for you. Where now it's too easy just to load a truck direct and send it right straight to the retailer. The retailers are struggling with it because they want to sell a product the cheapest way they can. So if they can get rid of the distributor and buy so much from somebody amalgamates and gets like 40 products that fit their model here and 30 from there, then why pay the distributor 20 or 30% if they can eliminate that by direct? So those distribution models are changing. You have to look at your own market where you're selling. You're selling John Deere tractors, in which case do you need to sell to a local distributor that services and takes care of warranty issues and stuff, or do you have a product that I don't need a distributor? So it's really important that you take a look at that going in, and 6 months from now it may change dramatically, but I think 6 months from now you're going to see that evolution go that much further. In this last year, I've pretty much eliminated distributors. And just okay, you guys take all my money and you put stuff in a warehouse and charge for it, you don't do anything. I don't really need you any longer to do that. I can reach out and touch all my retailers directly, and if they're willing, they buy direct from us. They don't pay the margin. You got to be careful with your pricing because you don't want to lose margin. You make more money out of it. You get a little more work, but you don't need those distributors like we used to. Years ago, you did not go to market with a product without going to distribution. I mean, unless you wanted to stay a small company that didn't want to grow and you just wanted to have a nice little small mom and pop business and make some money and be done with it. But if you want to grow and build a product and get it up to where you can do something with it or sell it off or grow it to be a huge mega corporation, those things have become a huge challenge in the last 2 years, at least for us. Go ahead.
This might sound like a beginner question, but with the thousands of manufacturers out there, what's the process you go through to find a manufacturer? Do you get them to bid against each other, or what's?
You can do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can do it. It's not hard. You need to figure out what it is you're making and then just start doing it. Your best bet, and I hate to say, I'm a victim of and a survivor of trade shows. But trust me, if you've got something that you're interested in, find that industry and go to those trade shows. And just, if you're sitting here today, you can do it. You'll go there and you'll snip your way through it. You'll find your way up. How'd you do that? You know, somebody's going to share with you. And from there, you're going to figure out, well, I found out that, you know, the place to buy that component to get that guy got his from there. And so that's the way to do it. I mean, if you're looking for it to get to it direct and quick without, you know, hitting the internet and trying, well, who can I get to make this? You need to get to those people who are already playing the game. And they'll share with you because they've been in your shoes. So, and Roger's your best guide for that in terms of just be careful that you don't throw out there what you're doing. Right? You know, it means, well, you know, and you can play it, and they don't know you've met. Well, I'm put a suit and tie and go in there and say, yeah, I'm a corporate buyer. I'm not interested in. You can do anything you want to go get what you need to find a way to get to what you're seeking. And if you're looking for a place to manufacture your product, that's the easiest way to start. And then back it up with Alibaba and all the other sources on the internet that are already doing this stuff. Most of the stuff that we're getting it's all come out of Asia anyways. And Alibaba, when you look at him, he's nothing more than Jeff Bezos in a different suit. But Alibaba's become the world's platform for sourcing manufacturers. They're all there. And we've, in 2 years, got to where Alibaba for us has become a good resource. They have gold key programs we buy, and they have guaranteed, they guarantee our shipments, they guarantee the quality of shipments, it's insured, you can pay with a credit card, you can do a lot of things there. And they'll prototype for you, you don't have to spend a lot of money on it, just reach out and communicate. Google translates, just use it. When you get on, when you want to deal with somebody in India, send them an email and translate it from Google Translates and communicate. And they'll kick right back. Those countries and all their companies are hungry. They want our business really bad. Unfortunately, I'm a U.S. guy. You know, my father and my family, but that's dead too. There's nothing that's made in the USA. I don't care what you make, anything in the USA. Something you put into your product came from somewhere else, and I'm guaranteed it didn't come from here. Nuts, bolts, screws, and whatever you name it, you can't identify where you're getting your stuff, where it came from. Nobody guarantees you it's made in the USA.
Well, you know it's made in the USA, it comes from.
Nobody cares anymore. The generation, us, the boomers, and our fathers that were in World War II, they cared. It was a big deal, and it was very big. But buy Chevy. Oh, come on, Dad. Chevy's made in Mexico. Give me a break. You know, I mean, I fought those battles, and everything we've got now is not made. There's nothing that we have that's made in the USA. There may be a couple things, but iconically, no, they're not. So, and we still have companies that say, do you want to focus on our made USA issue? I'm too honest to say, sure, we have the stamp made USA my stuff. It's not. You know, I get my things from here. I buy 3M adhesive tape for one of my products. Made in USA, not a chance. I buy my 3M tape from China. It costs me cheaper to buy my 3M tape in the USA and China does it buy in the United States. Because 3M won't sell to me because I'm not big enough in the US.
But you can buy the same tape.
China. I buy my 3M VHP tape out of China. Every 3 months.
How does that gold key program work with Alibaba?
I can't hear you. What?
How does the gold key program work with Alibaba? You talk a little bit more
It's
about
just companies that have been vetted, that have been on their platform. You can go on there and look at those companies. You can see if gold key members in the list, how many transactions they've had in the United States, and how many complaints. And you take a look at it. It's a strong resource. I mean, we've used it now. We've got 3 different suppliers that we get stuff out of China.
So you don't recommend being the first one to buy it from somebody that says that they can deliver something in China. I mean,
Try that again.
anybody can be a Chinese supplier. They all can go on Alibaba and advertise their wares there. Anybody.
Yeah, it's possible, but for the most part, the people are on there from China don't speak English, and their stuff shipped to me from China, and they're guaranteed out of China, so yeah, it's possible, but Chinese suppliers on Alibaba, people, they spend money to participate in that program, and they're vetted. I mean, it's not like they're not known. Plus, there's so many levels of this for you guys to reach out to and use for research. United States Chamber of Commerce, the US Chamber of Commerce, they're a big player. You can contact local people right here in Denver. The World Trade Center folks, right here in Denver, you can contact them, you sit down, have a head-to-head with them. They'll do reach out for you, they'll do resource for you. You can actually take a US Chamber of Commerce division personnel in China, meet you there, go to your suppliers, do a walkout inspection. I'll tell you what, those companies pay attention when the US Chamber of Commerce representatives show up. It's big to them.
So this is
World
in
Trade
Denver?
Center, huh?
This is in Denver, you're saying? You can
Right
contact these guys?
World Trade Center lawyer lives down in the boonies down southwest someplace.
Yeah, no time.
And, I mean, I used them to vet my last company. They did all the research for me. I spent like $1,200 to get the report written. They came back and they told me what my company was, what its history was, how many shipments it had, how much money, the volume, where it sold. It all came for $1,000, US taxpayer.
From that World Trade Center.
World Trade Center. World Trade Center, Denver. They're just getting ready to open a new headquarters someplace. They got booted out of one downtown, but they turned it into some sort of big ass corporate development. So the World Trade Center's just getting ready to have a new facility.
Oh, really? They're not there on Broadway anymore?
No, they're down, they're in the middle, they're in their shared space down south, someplace, I don't know.
So they moved everything, because they had like 6 floors.
Oh, no, they're gone. They're in one building, they got like 4 or 5 people jammed in one room. They got a new facility coming up, but right now they're still, but they're cool to deal with. I mean, they're world players. The guy that I dealt with, he's been in China a bunch of times. He has extensive experience over there. He did all my research for me. And, I mean, just, you got resources that you need to reach out to for what you got. And we pay the taxes for it, so you use that stuff. And it's, for the most part, it's free unless you want to engage them to do something. We're wrestling with, we got a big order that we're getting ready to place in China. I'm really scared because it's all about money. It's a lot of product. And I'm a little concerned that I'm not inspecting it, you know, and I feel like, what if that stuff comes over here and I got a problem, man, I don't want. So third-party inspection is now being supplied through Alibaba. You can actually pay them to do your inspection prior to shipment, and they charge a fee. You can pay it with your credit card. Or you can use the US Chamber of Commerce, or you can actually go over there and they'll have somebody meet you and go visit your manufacturer and you can inspect it yourself. So tons of resources. Don't be afraid to go overseas with what you're producing.
One thing I should mention, I just thought of, if you're gonna have invention development overseas, like if your idea anywhere outside the country, you need to get a technology export license before you disclose that information outside the US. So that you can get at the patent office. I think you're looking at 3
Never
to.
told me about that one, Roger.
Huh?
Never told me about that one, Roger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's,
We blew by that one, didn't we?
$300 to $500. Now, if you file a patent, provisional, non-provisional, they do it automatically. So it usually is always approved unless the technology relates to weapons, national security, defense, maybe chemicals, you know, for that are deadly to humans or something. So those kind of areas you got to be careful in. But, you know, just, you know, let's say it's a consumer product. I mean, you're going to get the license approved.
I never did it.
It's all about, yeah, exporting technology.
So if you're related to a technology type product, you're recommending that you get that license? Or you're saying you have to have that license?
If you're exporting, let's say you're transmitting new invention information overseas to a contractor to add to it or refine it or something, then you need to
So if
do
you're
that.
prototyping?
Huh?
If you're maybe these guys understand you. So if you're prototyping something that's a technology product in China, you need to do what?
If you're just doing a prototype,
If you're transferring information, you're saying, here, I'm developing this, and could you please help me
Well,
prototype?
actually,
probably
what
would
he's
be,
talking about, I think, is, does it have a national defense component? Does it have a high security component? Is it vital to the defense of the United States? Is it having military implications? Now, if that's the case, you better get a license for that.
see, most of the time it's automatic, like, if you're gonna disclose stuff, say overseas to get manufacturing done, prototypes made, you're probably gonna have patent pending, most likely for protection.
Right,
So the license is included with your filing.
right.
You get a license.
However, if they decide, if somebody at the patent office decides that it has.
Then you'd have to go back and appeal with them on, the basis for it.
Yep.
But it's really related to weapons
Right.
stuff.
I'm not worried about that. They're not gonna accuse me
I mean-
what I gotta be a weapon. Well, understood, it's a good point. It raises issues about what you're developing, if you got micro stuff going on, computers that are hackable and that kind of thing, and your world may be involved with that.
And the device that I'm building has lots of military applications, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's what's the word I want to use? It has national security implications,
Right.
okay?
I'm not worried about that. What else you
I
got?
mean, I want to sell it to the Army, is what I want to do.
Good luck.
Let's just say, I've never had one denied, but I've never done, nuclear weapons or anything.
Right.
Application.
This hasn't anything, that's not even close.
GSA contracts. We've done that yet?
No, I don't intend to.
No, so I can just sell the United States.
Well, I can go and do it and deal direct with the DOD, that's what I intend to do. But not GSA.
I don't know, it's not my league, it's not my experience.
Sure.
We got back there.
How about Amazon? Are you on Seller Central or?
Vendor. No, I'm not selling, I'm sorry, I'm on both, but we sell right now 100% through Seller Central. Vendor Central, we have the account, but that's a tough struggle. You wanna go, which is for us at 70% of our business, so I can talk all day about Amazon, but Vendor and Seller Central are two different platforms that have different plans. If you wanna sell through Vendor Central, then they're buying from you and they resell at any price point they want. And the problem with that is if you have competition, they'll drive your pricing to the shit in a heartbeat. Amazon doesn't care about your price points. They want to sell. So as long as they sell their product and they're number one and they get the buy box, no matter what it costs them, but you're in the other end of that watching your price tiers go down the drain. So it took us about 10 months to do that because Amazon was taking our stuff and we had competition out there at the time. We were still selling through distribution. So our distributors are out there selling our products to the retailers are out there trying to hold the MAP pricing on it, and here comes Amazon. They bought our product in bulk, they put it on Amazon, and anybody that sold it for $10, they sold it for $9. Somebody sold it for $9, they sold it for $8. We got down to where our retail price point was just couldn't do one of these things, just spiraling out of control. And you'll find if you listen or pay attention to a lot of other sellers, you'll find that the same thing happens. If they're buying huge volumes from you and you have no competition, it may be a good deal because it's bankable. You go to the bank and borrow against it. But it's 60 days, 2% terms, which means you got to wait a long time to get paid. And for us, we just said, nope. Unfortunately, it causes a lot of heartburn to try to undo it because Amazon Seller and Amazon Vendor Central are two different companies. They do not know one another. Yes, go ahead.
Can you explain the difference between those two, just because I'm totally new to that concept?
Pardon me?
Can you explain the difference between the seller and the vendor and how they're, like, what?
Vendor Central is Amazon's mothership. That's the big Amazon planet. They go out and they buy product in bulk. And they turn around and they pay for all costs to market, all costs to sell, all costs to warrant, all costs to return. They literally take care of you hook, line, and sinker. You do nothing but give them your product and walk away. And on the other end of it, you have nothing to deal with except collecting your money after 60 days. But if you have competition out there, that's something that's really, really hard to try and determine where that's going to play out, because Amazon's going to take it to where they're going to sell their product, no matter what it takes them to do it, and they won't honor MAP prices, MAP being minimum asking price or gap, guaranteed asking, whatever you want to call it. They don't care. They don't honor it. So when it comes to that bidding game, when you do a deal with Amazon, everybody talks about the buy box. The buy box is who sold the product. So if you look at Amazon, Amazon exists off companies. If you go to Amazon, the first thing you'll come up to, what do you want to sell? They'll help steer you to where they don't have enough players in that category. And you go find somebody in China who'll sell it to you for cheap, and you resell it on Amazon. And you get in line with everybody else. They have repricing software you can buy where it'll monitor your products on Amazon, and the minute somebody sells it for a penny less than you do, it'll change yours down one more penny. So the pricing goes down, and it'll stabilize at some point in time, or if somebody runs out of inventory, then you get the sale, or Amazon ran out of stock and you'll get the sale. But it's just a terrible way to do business if you're a manufacturer and you want to protect your pricing and you have people who want to buy it. So for us, that's where we were. So we switched immediately over to Seller Central, and then we got rid of our distributors. So now we're down to where we have a couple of players that we compete against, but for the most part, we're the only people selling our product on Amazon.
What is that product?
What are we selling?
Yes.
We manufacture RV accessories.
Oh, okay.
So Seller Central, you get paid every 2 weeks, and there's no terms. So Vendor Central, it's every 60 days, you give them 2%. So they issue POs. When Amazon issues POs, they do it on Sunday night at midnight. So Monday morning, you wake up, you got POs for 19 different locations to send products. Some of them 1-year product, some of them 3-year product, some of them 10-year product, some 5-year product. You have to ship to every one of those locations. There's different ship tickets, different labeling, different. You have to have a staff. You have to have an office that's willing to do all that work. Seller Central, you put as much as you want in, and you put it to 2 or 3 locations. You ship it all. So for us, the difference is night and day, but it depends upon what you're selling. It really does. And once again, Amazon purchase orders are bankable. Seller Central, it's on your nickel. You're taking your stuff and you're sticking it into their warehouse, and you sell it and they pay you for it. So
How quickly do they pay you?
Seller Central every 2 weeks, Vendor Central 60 days. So it's really it's a crapshoot. I mean, I hate to call it that, but you really have to know your markets and know who you're going to sell to, and you have to understand that if you're going to have something that's an exclusive, you price it correctly, and then you go out there and sell it on your own, and don't give it to Amazon. Amazon's they're a whore. They're nothing more than they're a vendor's nightmare.
They're a retailer's whore.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I mean, if you haven't played on Amazon, you need to go in there, just start looking, or open up an account and start buying products. And pay attention when you're buying them, because you'll look at the price that pops up is always the cheapest price. And if you look closely to say who's it sold by and whose price it is. And if it says sold by and shipped from Amazon, Amazon bought that product. They're selling it. And there's the cheapest price. And then you've looked at other sellers on Amazon, there'll be 17 of them. They're like $41.99, $41.97, $41.93, $41. It's like these guys are all praying to pick up the crumbs when Amazon runs out of stock. But if Amazon bought the product, they're going to be the cheapest. They're going to be the cheapest seller. Period. That's the way that the game's played. And their system is automated way past yours will ever be. I mean, imagine millions of products online and Amazon sold and shipped by Amazon. That's the cheapest price. It's always going to be there. Always. if they have that product. If they don't have that product, then you'll see whoever that cheapest person is.
Doesn't,
Then are the legitimate sellers.
doesn't Amazon have a shipping advantage though over all those other sellers?
Oh, yeah, kidding
I
me.
mean, because they've got the volume. I mean, they can offer free and the other guys.
Bezos is not the richest man on the planet without a reason, Roger.
Yeah.
He's got that tied up so tight. Everybody's scared of Amazon. That's what we talked earlier about distribution models going away. Amazon has changed the course of all of us for selling products. I mean, all the old models are gone. I mean, we're treading on territory that doesn't have any direction or course, or there's no blueprints, there's no instructions with it. It's like just good luck. You have to do as much as you can to try and understand it before you take your product to market. And then Amazon will teach you how to lose money real quick.
So if you have a product that doesn't have any real competition out there because there's just nobody else doing what you're doing, and I find that to be improbable, actually, simply because there's always some way to do something. You might have the best way, but that doesn't mean that it's the only way. And you sell to Amazon for, I don't know, $20. They own it. If it's a product that they buy, okay, and they run the price into the basement, and it's now $9, when it comes time to reorder again, it's still $20 to Amazon. That's your only place to sell product. That probably works, but if you're selling anywhere else, it's going to screw you in a hurry. That's our problem. We don't sell. We have distribution models that go past Amazon. We sell to a couple large retail chains. We're talking to Walmart. We're selling other places. So if you give it to Amazon and let them, I can't fault them for what they do. I mean, they make a lot of money and they make a lot of people a lot of money. And if you don't have any intentions of selling your product anywhere but to Amazon, it's a good game. But if you sell anywhere else, once that price spiral starts to hit you, then where you're selling to other people, you can't justify your pricing because they're going to screw you. Just go buy it on Amazon. Right. Once I give you $20 for it, we go to Amazon, buy it for 12. So Amazon will buy it and lose money on it just because they need to have it to be the lowest price. Absolutely. That is their business model. They will be the lowest price on the buy box if they own that product. You will never ever go on Amazon and see, when you toggle on Amazon and it says the price comes up $20, sold and shipped by Amazon. You'll never go down and toggle down and find Amazon be another one of the sellers. They're the ones selling it. And people only go on Amazon and they'll buy box. They get the cheapest price there. Sold and shipped by Amazon, Prime, no cost to ship. Kaboom. Nobody goes past that.
Is that why they make that little Amazon's Choice banner?
It is.
So what's that other deal they got? It's always a little confusing to me. Like at the top, you'll see maybe the same product. They'll say sponsored links. And you can't actually buy it through the shopping cart. You gotta like buy that with something else to get in the shopping cart, you know what I mean? I've seen this once in a while, it pops up.
Like an add-on?
It's
When
like,
you
you search a
on
product and then
Amazon,
it's the same product at the top and it says this is a sponsored link.
Product is the cheapest
You
price.
can't actually buy it right there.
Every product. You never find a cheaper price down below. You always find the cheapest price
At the top, right.
And if Amazon buys the product, it's going to be their price. And anybody tries to undercut it, they just lower the price. So they run out of inventory. That's the way that they do it.
So
Well, would they not buy from you if they run out of inventory?
They'll try to keep buying from you. Now, they still can, they come at us with purchase orders every 2 or 3 months I'll get 25 purchase orders on a Monday morning for 1 here, 2 there, 3 here, 2 there. It would take me 2 days just to do the paperwork. I just tell them, I had it, sorry. Because then I got to battle my own company.
Why fight against yourself?
But no, not anymore.
Okay.
When you do Vendor Central, you do. You do Vendor Central, you ship product to them, they issue purchase orders, their product, they own it. They sell it whatever they want to. So you can't sell against yourself, which we did for 9 months, drove us mad.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're trying to, so you're trying to sell direct, and you're trying to keep a profit
We're
margin.
trying to hold your margins.
But they have a completely different business model. They don't care about that. They just want to make sales at whatever price it is.
So if you do get into a situation where you're selling product out in the open marketplace, and you're selling more than just Amazon, you need to establish a MAP pricing, which is minimum asking price, and you can try and enforce it. You look into that when you get on the internet, look up MAP pricing, you'll find it going forever. So if you're trying to enforce MAP pricing, Amazon won't honor it. So MAP pricing for you is critical, because if you're selling your lifting equipment to the US government or to John Deere or whoever, you want that sold for $99. And that's my minimum asking price. If you sell it for less, that's fine, don't advertise it. But you can't advertise my price point for less than $99. Period. Amazon don't give a shit. Could care less. They don't care. It's like, what do I have?
We'll sell it whatever we want to.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll sell whatever I want to. Sue me. They don't care.
Yeah, because they want the traffic. They're after a different, they always want you going to Amazon at any time you want to buy anything.
See, the research I've done so far is that Amazon makes the majority of their money through resellers, not through their own model. The stuff that they sell to them is just lost leaders. They don't care. They just do it because that's their model. They make all their money on resellers, people that go out and buy your product and resell it. Because you go look at a lot of the popular products, if you scroll over to other sellers available like 17 other sellers. There's 17 other people selling that product that they acquired in some place through a wholesaler, to an amalgamator, somebody who's getting rid of extra stock or whatever. They're all selling your product, 17 of them, and they're all battling for a penny here, a penny there, a penny here. And you read through whoever's selling it, you think, well, Joe Blow's so-and-so, and you read through it like 35 successful sales, 99% approval on Amazon. For some reason, you bought it from him. You paid a penny more, a penny less, who cares? That's how Amazon really makes their money. Amazon fees to sell approach 50%. So you're selling something from Amazon for $100. After it's all said and done, you're paying Amazon about $50 to sell it. And that's hefty. But if you fall into a trap and you really start to consider, you don't have to do any more advertising, you have to do any marketing, you have to do any returns, callbacks, warranty, replacements. You do nothing. You just put the product in your system and let it rip. So when you add up what it costs you to market a product, not using Amazon, you've got a marketing guy, a person on the phone, you got to deal with callbacks, you got to deal with returns, you got warranty issues, you got to deal with stuff.
So you're better off selling to what you're telling us, don't sell to Amazon at all.
No, I'm telling you to sell.
To get right to them.
But know what you're doing and what you're selling. If you are going to be selling to other places, you have to take a really, really strong look at how you're going to pull it off.
All right,
Make sure-
suppose you sell to 17 others and you're gonna sell to them at a fixed price. They're all gonna pay the same price. You're not selling to Amazon. Let them compete. Am I making sense
No,
here?
not at all. Not a bit.
Why?
Amazon, you look at Amazon like you look at any other retailer, except they don't play the game correctly. Amazon can do what they want. So if you have a product that you're going to sell to 17 places, Amazon, the one that's going to screw the pooch, because they're not going to honor your pricing.
But you're not selling to Amazon.
If you don't want to sell to Amazon, you're ignoring the largest resource on the planet for selling products.
Yeah, but couldn't one of your customers sell on Amazon your product without your permission?
Sure they can.
Yeah.
You can, sure they can. Anybody can sell on Amazon. They can go buy my product where they want to.
Fair trade laws means that if you sell something to somebody, it's sold. They can turn around and sell it on any,
So you could be competing with yourself.
of course.
But you gotta
I
understand.
guess what I'm trying to say is, take that model and use it against them. In other words, don't worry about what Amazon might or might not sell the product for, because you're not gonna sell to Amazon anyway. You're gonna sell to the guys who sell to, on Amazon,
Why?
because, for the exact same reasons you just said. Because you don't have any marketing, you don't have any, distribution costs, let them do it all. I mean, you might find.
You have no margin protection, you have no price protection. Then the way that that game is played is that it's the lowest seller sells the product. So if you sell to 17 guys.
At $99 a
These
piece.
resell on Amazon. What happens to your price point is you aren't going to be able to justify selling it for 99 bucks to anybody else anymore. Because people are going to buy it on Amazon for 91 or 89 or 83 or 74, or some wholesaler that bought it on a closeout for some place and got it for, it's bulked up, he's selling it for $10 to get rid of it. And he's selling it, and I've got that going on right now. I got a large company that unloaded a bunch of my product because it was 2 years old, and they wanted us to buy it back. We said, no. Stuff that's in there, we can't resell. So you didn't make the 12 months. They threw it into a reseller on Amazon. And the price points are in the shitter. So all our products right there are going for next, it's devolving the price points down to where you can't sell your product at retail any longer. You can't justify it. Look, I've got 43 of my one kits going into Amazon right now for $20 under what it should be. I can't sell my product on Amazon right now because there's 43 of them available on Amazon for $20 less, and I can't stop it.
And that's because you sold them 2 years ago at the discount price
And
to the distributor.
I just sold to a distributor a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
they wanted to get rid of the excess inventory, so they dumped it on Amazon.
But you sold it to him for 30% off retail.
Who, my distributor?
Yeah, to the,
Yeah.
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 So he's at $70, say, instead of $100 price point.
But now-
he's not moving and he's saying, I'm screwed, I'm just.
But we're still trying to sell it at.
You're still trying to sell it at $100.
At full margin. So. if
And
we
he's just
can't-
trying to get rid of it.
So right now, if you took your entire business, if I took my entire business model into one product, and this happened to me, right now we have no sales until those products were gone. We would not sell anything, which means, guess what? Where's your cash flow at? It's gone.
Right.
No money.
And there's only one sin about that, and that is you can run out of cash anytime. That's what banks are for. You can never run out of cash flow. That's the one rule
That sounds like something my accountant would throw at me. I don't believe that. Don't believe that. You better have a strong pocket to play that game. You really have to have a strong pocket. Because if you have a product that kind of stuff's going on, your business model's in the shitter already. It ain't gonna work. If you have to go to the bank because your business model's failing, because your price points are eroding, because you sold to the wrong people and Amazon's cutting you out, whether it's $10 or $10,000, it doesn't take long for that to go away. And then the bank's not gonna loan you any more money anyway. You say, where's your sales for the quarter?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any sales for the quarter. Well, I'm not loaning you more money either.
Right.
Because if you want to do factoring, you can do the same thing, same deal. You don't have sales to give to a factoring company, they're not gonna give you money.
No.
So it's very, very, very heady stuff. And we're talking at levels that you guys, that I should be presenting here, because I don't understand it fully myself. I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what I've learned in the last 2 or 3 years. It becomes something that I can't afford at my level in my company to hire accountant gurus, guys that can tell me.
You can't, what you are telling us is that if it's a consumer product, you can't sell to a distributor. That's what you're telling us.
To some degree, that's correct. Without having an incredible legal team that can enforce. Right now, there's companies out there on the internet that do MAP policy enforcement. They'll write the letters, they'll do the enforcement, they'll slap them down hard, and they'll threaten. And Amazon's just starting to grasp that they need to try and support that. Because Amazon's beginning to understand what's happening with their business models, eroding most of our ability to conduct our business correctly. Because that price game happens a lot. And they understand that us as manufacturers are struggling with it. And so they have a product they call brand registry. So once you've got a trademark and a copyright established, you can come back to Amazon and register your brand. Once your brand's registered, you can have your labels printed by Amazon. Products are shipped through that warehouse, that organization, that track where it came from. And you go back to, and you can do test buys. So you get somebody that's reselling your product on Amazon and undercutting your price point, not honoring your MAP pricing. You take that, report it back to Amazon, and they'll go threaten that company and say, if you don't take it down, we're going to take it down for you. You're done not selling that anymore on Amazon. So there's efforts within Amazon to try and bring this under control, but right now they're not in place. Having said that, I fought getting a trademark with Roger for 3.5 years. 3.5 years to get a trademark on my product, still not issued. And without a trademark, you can't get a brand registry at Amazon. Without brand registry, you can't enforce MAP policy. Without MAP policy, you can't control your pricing. So all those things tend to be part of a structure to deal with Amazon as one of your distributors. Once you have all those, but how many of us guys starting out with a patent, a small patent for a consumer product, walk to the patent office and say, I want my trademark. We'll get mine. You know, we're 6 months back to look at it, another 6 to review it, and we'll tell you what we think about it 6 months later. Well, you needed to sell product yesterday, not 2 years from now. But without having a trademark, at least in Amazon, you can't register a brand. Without registering a brand, you can't protect it. Right. Which is why the resellers are out there, so there's so many people reselling the product.
And I foresaw that problem. So the very first thing I did was get a trademark.
You're lucky. Most of us don't understand.
I don't have it yet. It's been
there you go.
9 months.
There you go.
You're a nice guy.
So you're
wildly optimistic.
No, 6 months. I mean, it's way faster than a patent.
Thank you for arguing.
So you're saying Seller Central and brand registry
That I can say.
combination, and then maybe you can make this work? You can go through Seller Central and have brand registry.
The first thing, number 2 is if you're gonna, I can't make a presentation. If you're gonna do Seller Central and you wanna really do it as best you can, the first thing you do is find a way to get to one of the business development guys. And in the first year with Amazon, when you launch a product in Seller Central, you really go for it. You really try hard, and you get it into the system to go. You got sales going on. It's not something that's written down or a policy that they'll give you. You can get an Amazon guy speaks English that you can email and talk to and set up conference calls. Business development guys. I think right now there's 24 of them assigned to the U.S. And we found out we got through one. So the last 12 months we've had a business development guy. Every time we got a problem, we call, we schedule a call, we talk to him, he helps us go through it.
You said there's 24?
I think there's 24 right now. 24.
That's crazy.
And then,
I mean, with millions of products, I mean,
yeah, but they're only focusing on new products that just launched that have sales going on in a category, and they'll support you. But it's 12 months. And then after 12 months, if you launch in another country, you can get one of those guys to help you for another 12 months. So what we're doing, we launched in the United States, and then we launched in Canada last year. We had one for another 12 months. And in January, we're going to launch in the UK. We'll have a business development guy for another 12 months. So for 3 years, we've had an Amazon guy become our consultant. So Amazon, you can do on your own, but learning it is like, it's just crazy. I mean, and when you go to Seller Central to get assistance with Amazon, you get to go to India. This is Bob. What can I do for you today? And there you go. And that's the way the conversation goes. He says, oh, we're not very sure. We have to check with the team. We'll email you back, all through an internet portal. And the answers are gibberish. They don't make any damn sense. It's a joke. And that's the biggest complaint of all the people. If you want a fast education, go to Seller Central and get on the forum. Just look at the forum. Look at the questions and the answers. They're intense. They're incredible. And some of them are spot on. Some of them are like, what? They're completely something that is like speaking a different language. So having somebody that works with you on Amazon that speaks English and can be your guide is like, it's worth its weight in gold. So if you launch, find those, hey, I'm a new seller, blah, 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 bullshit the hell out of it. Maybe you get lucky and the guy says, well, I think we can assign a member to your product for a year.
What would you say overall is some do's and don'ts on someone starting out with Amazon? Do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts. Oh, God. I answer that question. I'm nuts. I'm too old for it. Do's. If you don't have a young mindset, honestly, find somebody who can help you that's got one. That at least in the beginning can help you go through some of that stuff on the computer. You guys will grasp it quickly. I can see it in your eyes. But I'm honest. Some of us older guys, that stuff's heady. I mean, understanding I still don't understand so much of their system that, I mean, I can't be a good guide. All I can tell you is what I have from experience. But that part of it, once you can get over the hurdle of understanding or at least having a grasp of what you're doing, then the rest is like learning any business. It's like trying to figure out, okay, how do I make that work? And, you know, sponsored key ad programs that attack this campaign and that campaign and blah, blah, blah. I mean, all those things that spell success on Amazon are things that you can learn, but for most of us.
But Amazon is not interested in telling you any of that.
Oh, you're wrong there. They want our money something desperate. Oh boy, they want your money. They want it their way. They want you to be successful. They want you to sell like crazy. They want you to have 43 resellers of your product, all buying your product, all reselling. And in the end, you gotta watch how you go broke. But they're desperate for growth.
So they make money on the resellers then?
Huh?
They make money on the resellers primarily?
They make 50 points on everybody. Period. They love us. They love all of us. At any level you want to, they love all of us. If you're the manufacturer, they love you to death. The more you sell, the more you put out there, the more it goes through their system. They don't care how many times it gets sold or resold. That's the reason there's the problem. If you put 100,000 units in there and they got 40 guys selling it, 50% on every one of those sales, no matter who sold it, no matter what price point, they don't care. See, I could be a consultant. The lady that got me into this mess was an Amazon third position marketing person in Seattle. She was at the top of the chart. I mean, she was from Czechoslovakia and spoke terrible English. It wasn't bald, but it was something different, but it was terrible, lost in translation. But she told me exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and she would do it for me and charge me a bunch of money. But she did it for 2 years and then she went back to work. I think she went back to Amazon. But she was an Amazon person, so she knew that system. She knew how to make it work. And I need to do this, I need to do that, and then she'd tell me how to do it. And I need to do this, and then she'd connect me with a guy in India that knew how to do it, and he would load it up. And so you need to connect all the dots with Amazon, use all the resources that you can. If you can find a consultant that can help you out, there's Amazon consultants out there that charge a fortune for what I've given you guys tonight, an absolute fortune. I think because after I lost my consultant, I was kind of drowning until I got back to my guys at Amazon. So I went and reached out, I finally found a company out in Chicago, ex-Amazon guys, minimum $5,000 buying, minimum. Okay, if you want to write us a check for $5,000, we can get started. So much per hour. $5,000? I said, really? Like that's your fee? $5,000 just to talk to them. And then, so I need to load 6 products. I can't put images on there because the actual blah, whatever. And I can't get past them. It's $5,000, and then we'll talk about your problem. And it's ongoing. And they pay so much a month.
But you're making more money with Amazon than without, right?
Oh, our sales have gone 30% per year in the last 3 years. We went from $200,000 in sales, and next year we'll probably do 650, 7. 3 years. But you gotta be careful. You just gotta be careful at the end of the day to make money. Going from retail where you're making 100 points of margin down to Amazon, you're making 50 points of margin, you better have all that profit sitting in there you can afford to lose because you're gonna have to give up some of it.
So what you're saying is you make it up in volume, right?
There's the great.
Isn't that the old saying?
You don't, and you all of a sudden don't have a month where your sales go to zero because Amazon's not selling the product. That was a killer. That was just an absolute killer.
Amazon is not selling your product.
I said, unless you have 1 month,
Yeah.
your sales go to zero, because Amazon got a hold of your product through a distributor and drove your prices to shit, or nobody buying product from us. We had no sales.
So why go through distributors anymore? You were kind of talking about that. Why, so maybe you just go direct with Amazon? I mean, the issue is, so rather than having multiple sellers, if Amazon is so strong.
Our main distributor is one of the largest distributors in plant farm low back in marketplace. Keystone Automotive, headquartered out of Europe. They're absolute model. They own every distribution channel for O'Reilly's, for Advanced Auto Parts, for Checker, for AutoZone. Everything goes into those places. It comes out of Keystone, or companies that Keystone controls or controls product from. And they were buying our products, and all of a sudden last year, 1 month, we had a couple of massive purchase orders for 2 of our most popular selling products on Amazon. And I was scratching my head figuring, wow, damn, I should have smelled it. I was just stupid. We filled the purchase orders. The next month, that distributor took all those products, backforward them right straight to Keystone, through and into Amazon. Amazon took them all, put them up on their site, and everybody stopped buying product from us. They bought it all through Amazon. And I got a hold of the people, of the distributors. I said, what are you doing this for? And they denied it. I said, you're selling products to Amazon. I said, the hell if you're not. So there's a process that you can do. It's called test buy. Brand registry will help that. If you don't have it, you can still do it and prove the point. So we tag the next purchase order from that distributor. We tagged all of our products, and then moved back in and bought half a dozen products from Amazon. And it came back, came from that distributor.
By tagging, you mean like you physically mark them?
Yeah, we tag it. We put a hidden marker inside the boxes.
Can't you have an agreement with the distributor not to undercut you like that? Or?
Yeah, I got Matt pricing. They sold it to Keystone. Keystone sold it to Amazon, so it's done. Doesn't matter. Keystone took our prices and turned around and sold to Keystone at a wholesale level, because to them, they're wholesalers. So they sold it to Amazon, and Amazon put it on the internet and drove it right to the drink. They probably still made money on it, because they didn't drive all the margin out. They just drove it down to where we weren't selling any product. We caught the distributor in. The distributor told us they were doing it. We investigated, went into the distributor, went back 3 years in one of their corporate meetings that was online, that had all the visuals and all the videos and their big corporate structure, and found at the end of the deal where one of their main divisions focus was to expand their Amazon presence. We went back to the distributor and said, you're selling our stuff to Amazon. You're driving our pricing to shit. Why are you doing this? They denied doing it. We did the test buy on back to buyers. Said, don't screw me anymore. I said, we know you're selling to Amazon. Well, don't you? And then he said, well, isn't that good? I said, excuse me? Isn't that good? I said, wow, what do you do, buddy? That we quit doing
The
it.
thing about it is, you've got people doing these kinds of things, and you think they're knowledgeable about their business, and they're not.
So I was trying to tell you earlier, distribution model is in trouble in the United States. Many industries, the distribution model is in deep trouble, because many manufacturers just don't do the distribution.
So here's the answer, guys. Sell it, never. Rent it or lease it.
Yeah. That's an easy pass every time. What else? Ask me anything else. I feel like a walking, talking Amazon thing.
A little, just a little based on marketing.
Pardon?
Marketing, like what you guys do for marketing, or what your like percentage of your revenue goes to marketing.
It's a tough one. I guess it depends where you're at in the curve. I mean, you're going to spend way more money in the beginning for that than you are once you get established. And those benchmarks are going to be hard to really figure out till you get sales going, and when you start running out of money, then you know your marketing is working. That's what I was thinking, oh Christ, look at all this sales, I can't handle all this, and all of a sudden you think, well, back off marketing, because I gotta find more money, or I gotta handle the sales that I've got, so it's a balancing act. But you'll determine that pretty quickly, because you have to go, what do you need to be able to start up versus what you're gonna need going down the road? Those are two different animals. I mean, for most of us, the path's pretty kind of structured. You're gonna find your industry, you're gonna find your market, you're gonna find your distribution channels, you're gonna find how you wanna go into that, and then you're gonna chase down that entry stuff. And for most of us, it's gonna be a big exposure, regional, national, international, and you're gonna be doing trade shows. And once you got a product and protection through Roger, and you can take it to a trade show, you're going to trade shows. They're a pain in the ass. But your trade shows are where all your leads come from. It's where all your sales come from. It's where all your entries come from. I mean, you may not have to do a lot of them, but you'll find that in the first couple of years, you'll do a bunch. And how much do you market or ad for a trade show? It's one or two guys, you're living on the cheap, you're going out of town, and you spend 10 grand a trade show.
Yeah.
One guy goes maybe 6 to 8.
Yeah, but usually it's 10 grand. That's my experience too.
But if you have a major trade show and a couple smaller ones, you got 30 grand you can put out. What's it gonna bring back to you? Who knows? Until you, what you got in your product, and what do you have for demand? Who do you talk to? You can't reach out to buyers on the phone. They don't even talk to you anymore. When you look at the people that are hiring people, they don't even, when you look at resumes, you look at your Twitter feed, your Facebook. So selling product to purchasing guys is, unless you have an insight, you gotta get to a trade show, get to a buyer. And they buy their stuff there. They go there, and a lot of them, they use that as most trade shows, or a lot of your distribution model trade shows, it's also a buying show. They'll go to that show not only to meet and greet and find stuff, but they go there to buy from here. Okay. We think we're gonna need 500 of those this year. What's your discount for the trade show buy? Then you gotta figure out what you want to discount it to, and how much more you wanna give away, because you already gave away everything.
Do you spend much on online advertising?
There's something else too. There's an awful lot of people who go there just to steal ideas.
Yes.
You gotta watch that. And I often think that the best thing that we ever did, I was with another company. When we went out there and showed things to trade shows, we never showed the product that we would deliver. We always showed things, stuff.
Not all the critical stuff.
No, yeah, the critical stuff we never showed at a trade show. And we did it because there was just too much competition.
Yeah.
We were in a very highly competitive tech market and just didn't, it was just pointless. And we were not interested in going after the low end of the market. We wanted to make 5 times our money consistently. So if it cost us $10, we had to make 50. Cost 100, we had to make 500.
How big was this company?
Huh?
How big was this company?
Oh. 22 million before it got sold.
So you're talking about two entirely different parts of the planet.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got companies that are $22 million can do that stuff, but us guys that are down there in the trenches, starting out with our boots and our money.
We started out with nothing.
Yeah, but at 22 million, you can command 5 times anything if you want to. But when you're starting out, you don't have that blessing, you don't have that capability. You're dealing with a product startup, which is what we're talking about for the most part here.
Yeah.
It's product startup. And product startup at the bottom, trying to figure out your marketing dollars, your expenses is really not something you can put a multiplier to. How much do you want to put into it? And that's purely an emotional kind of a deal, or how much do you got? And then you reach out to Kickstarter and all the other bullshit that's out there for giving away what you're working so hard for. Then it becomes a real tough decision to make. And we went through that at the beginning with Roger. Why are you going to pay for all this? And, well, I know. I don't even know I wanted to do it when I met him. But one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden you get a couple sales, get guys interested. Never discount the possibility of, if you really have something that may be worth it, where you try to license it or go to somebody who wants to buy it out from under you. Because if it's done correctly, that can be just as lucrative, and you can move on to something else. Because the effort and the work and the energy to take something from scratch up to where I'm at is 6 years of my life, and I'm too damn old for it.
Oh, right.
I'm old.
You're not as old as I am.
I wouldn't wager that.
I'm 74.
No, then I don't know what the hell you're doing here, trying to do what you want to do. You're nuts. I would.
I'm having fun.
Good. I would not do what I did again at my age. I would do it twice. It's too hard, too much, too long, too stressful, so that you need to be young. You need to have drive and persistence and desire and something you really, you become a child. You need to raise a child from infant all the way to goodbye. And if you can't raise a child at a certain age, don't do it. So you need to be young to play this game. You need to have guys that support you and family and people that understand what you're going through. And you gotta have money. Boy, if you don't have a lot of that stuff, you question what you're doing. If you want to go beg and borrow from somebody, that sucks. I mean, it's really hard. Banks don't loan you any money, so you're constantly playing a game that takes a long time to perfect. And there's fun to it, a lot of learning curves. I know a lot of stuff right now, but I don't know who I can sell it to. You get to think I could become an Amazon consultant. I got more people trying to pin my ears back on Amazon. I know so much about Amazon, but I don't know anything. But I bet I can sell it. My consultant charged me $95 an hour. Phone conversations, no matter how long, coming for half an hour. So, and to make sure I had something to talk about for 30 minutes, right? And pay for it. What's it like in Seattle? Up there at the top of the Amazon building.
Cloudy.
Really, it's cloudy. Roger, you had a question. What was it? Did you forget it?
I just asked you, how much online advertising do you do?
Zero.
Zero, really?
No.
Why is that?
I can't do social media. I don't know how to, I don't want to.
So you're getting enough exposure just through Amazon's portal? And
They
searches?
do it for you.
Yeah?
Sponsored advertising. I pay, you put into the system what you want to advertise, how much you want to spend. So they'll help you the first year, they'll assign an advertising guy to do your advertising for you. They'll give you your bulk analysis, and you upload it, and he sets the keywords and budgets and all that stuff, and they do it for you. I think I'm spending $500 a month or something on keyword ads. And they put it together and they do the advertising, so I don't have to deal with it. But social media, oh my Lord, if you help
You
me.
have your own website though.
But I don't do any social media marketing whatsoever.
And you sell off your website.
Fractionally selling Amazon. Just a fraction. But the Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff, that there's so much risk with that. You piss somebody off, it doesn't take long for you to get, it's impossible to recover from people that put bad, I mean, absolutely impossible. When somebody gives you a bad review, no matter what the reason, you can't overcome it. Amazon will take it down. It's no different than Facebook or Twitter. You get somebody blast you for selling a shitty product or didn't work or I'm unhappy or. So I choose my way out of that. I don't do it. Don't worry about it. There's never any response from us because we don't do anything there. So if there's something on Facebook, I can care less. I never on Facebook. But it's a huge model of market to sell your product on. Your age group, you guys may have something that viral capability of those markets. If you got something that's neat or cool or a pet rock or whatever, if we had, if you know what a pet rock is. Do you?
Yeah.
They teach that in marketing 101 or not?
Yeah, I was thinking.
Most people don't understand what a pet rock is.
Is there even really a need for your own website anymore? With everything else, I mean, do you really even need your own website?
No, we'll get ready.
I mean, it seems like it's kind of becoming, kind of an ancillary thing. It's not that easy.
Is scary to me. I mean, because I've got so much into it now, there's so much money there, that to lose it all. But we're probably gonna redirect our website sales to Amazon this year. So we won't be doing any more customer service, any more returns, any more warranty. Amazon, this year, we're doing all of our stuff turnkey, our other stuff built in China and shipped over here. We're gonna use third-party logistics. So we're gonna bring our product into a facilitator that puts it in their warehouse, and you send them an email or an EDI to direct it, and they send it out. They'll do fulfillment in Amazon and become your warehouse. So and we're gonna do it. I'm scared of it, but all the stuff we're gonna bring in the United States, we're gonna bring in direct to Amazon. We're gonna sell our product through Amazon, we're gonna fulfill through Amazon, and through all of our other distribution channels, we're gonna use Amazon for our warehouse. So they'll be sitting on, we'll have all of our apples in one bag, which is scary, but the economies of scale, we can't compete with it. And they're providing the services, and a company that's worth that kind of money, they can't be wrong. And, I don't know what else to say. So yeah, I mean, am I a supporter? I am, but I'm scared. I don't fully trust it, because calling a company that you work with that's a huge, huge part of your business and speaking to Bob, I mean, that's scary. Is what you need on the other end is somebody who says, hey, man, I'll take care of you, and give me a phone number, and you get that way. So you really need to understand and control that as best you can, and then move forward.
You don't have much independence anymore.
There's a company on the internet that's been around for 4 years, and all they sell is FBA businesses. FBA, if you're looking into that, just look into it. FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. That just means that Amazon, you're on their Prime program, fulfilled by Amazon. Anything you sell, FBA, that's a business model now that's been identified. So FBA businesses, there's an online company, just half a dozen geeks, I think 2 in Australia, 2 over here in the mountains, 2 up here in the Himalayas. All they do is they sell FBA businesses. So if you have an FBA business, which means fulfilled by Amazon, you sell your products to Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, that's all they do all day long, is sell FBA businesses. 10 to 15 to 20% commission to sell, and they sell FBA businesses. And in the end of this year, the end of 19, we'll be an FBA business. So our exit strategy, what we're trying to do is we're going to sell an FBA business. Manufactured in China, low cost, high profit margin, no competition, fulfilled by Amazon, and somebody's going to buy that simply because in terms of this much money over, they'll combine it with another one of their FBA businesses with a similar product line, and then they'll combine 2 or 3 others. All of a sudden, they've got 4 FBA businesses with similar products that are worth $1.5 million. They put it all together in a package and sell it to a large distributor, who then adds it to another mix. And kaboom, you have a distributor that works through an Amazon platform, selling 8 products at very little competition, churning $2 million a day. Look it up. I forget. You gave me a card or something. I'll share whatever you want with that stuff. I forget the name of it. It's real. And believe it or not, Roger, I think I got that from Jeff. I think he's the one who turned me on to it. And I contacted them, and they said, okay, what volume? What's your email list? How many people got an email list? And they came back and gave me within 24 hours, came back and gave me an analysis of what they'd sell a company.
And did it meet your needs?
Oh, not the time. We're just getting started. You guys have done a lot of research on Amazon. I get this.
Yeah.
Have you?
We just been checking back.
So does it sound like I'm?
You're on it. Keep on it, yeah.
Take my
What's the
card.
highest price you have on a product that you sell through Amazon?
Just a whisker shy of $70.
Okay.
But I got very little competition. Like you said, why don't I raise the prices? I ask myself that a lot, but I don't want to piss off I got a loyal client base. You know, if I start jacking the price up, just to jack the price up, I don't sell just to Amazon. I sell to another major retail player. So I have to keep it in balance. I can't get out there. I can't get greedy. I have to keep it in line.
Sure. I'm never gonna be in the retail business.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You will live on the government. I tried the government thing. That's holy smokes. I would never tell anybody to do that. That's nuts. You need to be a player. You need to be connected. You have to know who and where and what. It's like Washington DC. You need to know. You're not going to do it for channel. You're going to do it through knowing and having the knowledge and where to go and who to talk to.
You bet.
You don't sell the government any other way.
Right.
I learned enough of it to figure out that I'm never going to make it. Needed to be, and this is, has nothing to do with race, but the lady said, she said, you don't have enough chits to sell to us. I said, what's a chit? She says, you need to be a veteran, you need to be a black, you need to be a minority, you need to be one of the following four things you need to have on that document in order to be able to come sell to us. And I said, oh, I'm gonna try. So I went to one of the buyer's things, I showed up, and here was the one guy, he was either Oriental or he was Asian, I can't recall which. He's over with his arm around the buyer, taking down every one of the contracts, because he met the minority hiring criteria, being able to sell products to the United States government, period. Had nothing to do with what we try to sell. So this is nuts. And you know, this is the buyer at GSA office downtown Denver. She says, you need to hire yourself a woman, make her the head of the company. What?
Yeah, the problem with that is you're starting to crack down on that. A lot of businesses are doing that, and then they find out,
They'll
the
check.
woman is just a token.
They'll check. But what they're doing is they're really giving up on the shift and weight. I think they're making 20% more or something. They're actually doing that. They're still pulling that off. So I don't want to do that. It's nuts. So, but it still exists. It's very, very, very much valid and alive today. So, and there's a lot of veteran, construction industry now is, at least in the Denver metropolitan area, you look at a lot of construction contracts going out. Alvarado, that's one of the big ones, that's female owned. And there's 2 or 3 others that are minority owned, and they all end up pooling together, do projects together, and they're guaranteed to get to work. Right? Because they have to meet minority hiring criteria. That's one way to do that, for selling what you got, if you're going to do that. But if you don't want to be in retail, I don't know what it is you're going to do. You know, sell to the U.S. government. I had a buddy that did that, but he came on there. He knew where to go sell it to. He sold all his product to the purchasing guy and was able to pull it off.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, and I had the same problem, because I couldn't sell it. Couldn't even talk to him. So it's.
Well, I got a friend who works in that hiring material.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So what are you doing here? Just go over there and give him the stuff and rock it out of here and make $8 bucks. And,
Oh, yeah, that's simple.
huh?
$93 million.
How much?
$3 million
For what?
to finish out the development of the product.
I'm sorry, I don't have the money left to invest with you today. I'd give you some.
Thank you, but no thank you. You're not a qualified investor.
Give me a break. Those rules have changed too. They're not the same anymore. What else? What are you working on?
Well, for me, I've got 24 on the drawing board. I've got 9 on the drawing board, 24 that I'm working on, 1,000 ideas in my head. So, you know, just like these guys back here, you know, they decide which one. I got 1,000 babies, and here's the problem with it. When you got 1,000 babies, 999 of them gonna be bad. So you gotta figure out which one is the one that's gonna go all the way. Who the hell knows? I don't have a clue. Well, actually, I do. I have one good one, and that's the one to talk to, Roger about it. I've got well, Here's my thought. I got 1,000 ideas in my head. I don't know which one's going to work. So if somebody wants to steal one, you think one of them is a golden goose? Be my guest. Be my guest. I'll give you an example. When Krispy Kreme's donuts are going to come to Colorado, my family's from the East Coast, so I've known about Krispy Kreme all my life. Back in 1993, I wrote them a letter because I had a GI Bill. And I told them I was interested in the Krispy Kreme franchise here in Colorado. Back in '93, they hadn't got to that point yet. Anyway, I told them, well, when you do, let me know. Of course, they never did. Never did. Then Krispy Kreme comes here, like 9 stores open up. People wait 3 hours for a freaking donut down in Hollis Ranch. You know how many Krispy Kremes are in Denver now? 3. I'm glad they left me out. So like I said, and the point I'm making with that is, you don't know which idea is gonna work. So if somebody wants to steal one of mine, be my guest. Because I don't have a clue which one's gonna work. And if you've got a wine that you can pick out, the golden goose, I'll give you the 1,000 ideas if you pick. So, but one of the ones, and I'll tell you now, and I'll share this with everybody. And I don't have a patent on it. Like I said, it's got so many things to work out. You can take it and run with it yourself, or you can talk to me about it, because I'm looking for partners. I've got a gambling idea that I want to talk about getting a patent on. The divorce, here I'll share it with you. The divorce rate is 50% in the United States, correct?
Yeah.
What if you could bet on divorces?
My parents, I
know it is more because everybody, I share the idea, but all the moral things come up first, like, okay, the church is gonna kill you. Well, of course they're gonna kill you, they're gonna crucify you. Because I'm gambling, you're betting on marriage. But since it's 50%, oh, by the way, it's 70% if you're over 50. That sounds like a gambling opportunity to me. And what I haven't figured out yet is how to do the payout, because you're not betting on one individual marriage, you're betting on a segment. For example, I'll give you a segment. A segment is all the people that get married in Vegas. How long do you guess their marriages are going to last?
And using those marriage licenses, you could group them specifically.
That's all I'm doing.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. So now, yeah, well, like I said, there's a lot more to work out, because here's one of the hard parts about it. How you gonna do the payout? I haven't figured that part out, because it's not a payout that happens in a week or 6 months. And in some situations it might be a couple of years. So the payout has got to be worth the person waiting that long. I haven't figured that part out. I need a map. What I need.
You know what a tranche is? A tranche.
Tranche.
It's the little, it's French, and it means peace. Okay? So what you do is sell different tranches to the bank. And then you offload to those people who want to buy that particular tranche, which is all the people in Vegas, or all the white people in Vegas, or all the black people in Vegas, or all the age differences, or